Eileo guys, and welcome back. Hopefully everyone's doing well out there today. And of course with our video we have the Benedict, or shall I say just Benedict. He is our latest and greatest Nat 4 exclusive anniversary mon, and I think they've done a great job so far of giving especially new players access to the light and dark one, so I'm curious to see how that's going to go forward here. But yeah, he's the newest one. So much of a surprise because we're just running out of NPCs at this point. I mean, hell, it's been literally 8 years of MSL, and I haven't been playing for all 8 years, but I've been playing for close enough, which many would say is probably too long. But anyways, let's go and take a look at Benedict and see if he's worth it or not. And I've started right here with the water one. So the water one is an attacker type. Oh yeah, let's take a look at him real quick. He looks just like Benedict, man. You got glasses on. That stance is just straight up gentleman. And yeah, so starting with the water one, he is an attacker type coming in with 25k HP, 2.7k attack, and then 1.7k defense. Nat 3, his set distribution is fine. They're not normally used unless you literally just began the game. And with him being a water mon too, newer players get access to Dark Mona, and having a Water Mona built up at that time just makes sense, even with her Super Evolution available. So this one may just be a slot filler, not even taking a look at his skills right here. But since I mentioned skills, let's take a look. One thing I do want to point out here first though is his variant skill, which is Defensive Stance, and this decreases the enemy's attack power by 30 to 35%. This is a useful lead, especially for healer type Astromon, especially like the cures and stuff of that nature. However, how does it fit into Benedict's kit? We shall definitely see. So for his 3-star skill, he has Exposed Weakness, 80% chance to expose the enemy's weakness for 1 turn. You can read what it does after that. And then for the 5-star skill, he has Fire Predator, and it indicates right here Never Ending Lecture. He damages all enemies. So this is an AoE move, really just manufactured toward hitting fire mons exclusively. So we have a little bit of setup with his 3-star skill, and then the 5-star skill, once he gets enough SP off, will do some damage. Taking a look at the skill books here, Exposed Weakness does get a 10% damage boost and goes up to 100% for 1 turn. Predator goes up to 30%. As I stated before, this probably is just going to be an Astromon that you would try in Evo 3 ASAP, even if you just began the game, and just either collect him if you know you won't hit the set amount to get all 3 of his versions of Evo 3, or simply any version of the Benedict that you catched out of the water Astromon, just feed into your light or dark, or the best one, and move on. He's clearly not meant to be used, he just exists. So water Benedict, he exists, but he's just fodder. Anyways, moving on here, we have the light version of Benedict, who is a tank type. His HP is sitting at 41,000, almost 42,000. His attack is 1.9k, and then his defense is nearly 2.5k. So HP is okay. Defense could be a little bit higher since he's a light Astromon, and attack doesn't really matter. But hey, he's a capturable Nat 4, or we can get him via fusion, and he's anniversary exclusive. So if you're like an Astro Guide fanatic like me, you're going to capture him and get him to Evo 3 anyways. Outside of that though, we have to see what's going on with this skill kit to make him worthwhile or not. So for his 3-star skill, he has Morale Boost, which grants a 100% chance to restore 10% of allies' SP when attacking. That is a AoE morale boost. Not much, but every little bit helps depending on your team setup here. And then for the 5-star skill, it's Resistance Down, which grants a 100% chance to reduce the enemy's resistance by 70% for 2 turns. That's a decent rate, AoE too, and with the Defensive Stance. So already it seems to me like he is a Nat 4 version of Light Griffin, which we'll check out here in a second. But obviously Light Griffin involves putting a whole bunch of Nat 5s into the blender, while Benedict is, you know, just around once a year. But anyways, Morale Boost does not get a boost whatsoever in terms of that SP. I was hoping for 15% for everybody, but I guess that's too much. It just gets a whopping 30% damage increase. Doesn't really matter. Same thing with Resistance Down, which is already at a good point in time, so I'm not surprised that no more additional turns have been extended out for the skill books. It's just 30 damage again. He does remind me of Light Griffin, Light Griffin, by the way, if you haven't used him, depending on your team setup, if you're running a composition with a whole bunch of debuffing properties, or crowd control, shock, stun, even crystallization, he's nice to have. If I can find him though, there he is. So for Light Griffin, it's for himself, 100% chance for 50%, and then of course they have the same resistance down. Stat distribution wise, balanced. Benedict does have slightly less defense, but nearly 10k more HP, and attack doesn't really matter either. So he may be a welcome addition, especially if you don't have a Light Griffin, or you've always wanted a Light Griffin but you don't want the whole investment to go with that. And his leader skill, at least in my opinion, is better. So I would honestly say that he does have some prospect in the PvP world and in any place where you may need crowd control mons to get their attack sticking, because I even run like, what is it, my Dark Merlin, double Light Yuki, and my Light Griffin through the Tower of Chaos when it resets. Though I might have changed that with Dark Purse, but that's what I ran before. I used something similar back in the day with my PvP team. It worked. I mean, so get it as you can. Just make sure that you realize that if you're running resistance down on him, make sure you have other Ashramon in your party that can kind of utilize that, or it's all for naught. Alright, and then last but not least here, people, we have the dark version of Benedict, who is an attacker type, coming in with 27k HP, 3.4k attack, and then 2.4k defense. My dude is going all glass, all gas, no brakes. Straight up 100% DPS. Darkmon with that innate higher crit damage. Dude looks like he's straight up out of anime. He looks like an anime villain right there. Let's take a look at these skills. So for the 3-star skill, morale boost, 100% chance to restore 15% of allies' SP when attacking. Already a step up from the light one, but the light one may have a little bit more utility. For his active skill though, his Hunter increases critical hit damage by 50%. Once again, this is an AoE. This is just your standard wave clear. I mean, there's no surprise here. There's nothing groundbreaking or amazing with that. If you just started the game, someone like Dark Mona is always a nice addition to have here, but he fits in the same boat as Dark Mona. There's Fire Siegfried. I made a whole wave clears tier list a while ago, but a wave clear, just for basic understanding of my terminology of it, is someone with either morale boost or battle rush on the 3-star skill, and then the 5-star skill is going to be Hunter, Predator, anything of that nature, even Elemental Edge at that point in time, which is what this, I think both Sierras have, but I could be wrong here. But take a look at the skill books. Morale boost receives a 30% damage boost, while Hunter does not get elevated to 60%, which would have been cool, but it also gets a 30% damage boost. So I do want to compare him to Dark Mona here really quickly, just to see what that is, because I know everyone gets Dark Mona. Not everyone can get the anniversary exclusive Ashramon literally right after the anniversary has ended here. So nearly, I'll say 27k, 3.4k, and then 2.4k. So Dark Mona is sitting at 28, so slightly more HP. Attack is pretty much the same, but her defense is dirt nasty low. But she's also provided to you for basically free. I mean, skill book wise, 40%. Yeah, he is a slightly stronger version of Dark Mona, and that's pretty much it. So if you're rocking a Dark Mona and you need another wave clear before you get GACHA, even though I know they even hand out GACHA at this point in time, he's your upgrade for Dark Mona if you happen to begin the game during the anniversary. Outside of that, he is slightly better than her in my opinion, but still, he's going to be an Ashramon that you use in the beginning of the game and you drop off. Mainly like the other anniversary mons for the most part. I mean, if you have wave clears, that's cool and good, but once you get upgraded after a certain threshold, you don't really use them whatsoever. I think I've only been using Dark Eve at this point in time, and I think Light Nez, to be honest. Everyone else I haven't really touched, though I am curious about her. And yeah, I don't really need anyone else, so that's who I've been using. But to wrap up the video here, you guys, in regards to the Benedicts, let me go over here and show his different skills. In regards to them, the water one, purely fodder, just C tier, garbage. Collect him, get him to Evo 3, feed him into your light and dark, and have life move on. In regards to the light one here, I'm going to go ahead and say it, yes. He, in my opinion, is top of the S tier because he is a Nat 4 version of Light Griffin. You don't need books for him because he's not here for damage. 10% morale boost isn't that much, but paired with other Astromon, especially if you're running a debuffing kind of type squad, that's going to work wonders for you. Plus with the 5-star skill being resistance down, there's a lot of synergy going of him getting his SP up from his 3-star skill into his 5-star skill to get debuffs going. So overall, top of the S tier for me. Definitely a PvP slash, you know, disabling enemy type monster. You wouldn't bring this in Colossus or Titans. You can, but that's none of my business here. And then the Dark one, I would say at this point in time, if I'm recalling correctly, players have access to not only Dark Mona, but you literally get a Fire Draka at the beginning of the game here. So he doesn't really bring anything game changing to the table whatsoever. So I would honestly just put him at A tier. And even then, maybe B tier is just better just because we have access to better Astromon, even if you begin the game and you somehow missed your anniversary. So it's not like you're really missing much outside of Light Benedict. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much all that I have. I'm going for all 3. Don't worry about that because I need all 3 for the Astro Guide. And that's probably going to be it in regards to that. Maybe I'll use Light Benedict on Eileo, but we'll have to see. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave in the comments below about what you guys think about Benedict. Is he worth it or not? And yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.